Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our chapter, The Friendly Mongoose, which is chapter 2 in your supplementary reader book, that is your honeysuckle book. So, students, as this is the first day of this chapter, we will just read word by word and line by line. And prominently, we are going to understand the meanings of the tough words. The next day, we will understand the first part of this chapter. After that day, we'll understand the latter, that is the second part of this chapter. And then the last day, we will do the question answers. Let us start with the first day of this chapter, students. Let us read it aloud. Once, a farmer and his wife lived in a village with their small son. They loved him very much. We must have a pet, the farmer said to his wife one day. When our son grows up, he will need a companion. Companion means a friend, or you can say a person with whom we spend much of our time. This pet will be our son's companion. His wife liked the idea. One evening, the farmer brought with him a tiny, that means a small mongoose, the baby mongoose. It's a baby mongoose, said his wife, but will soon be fully grown. He will be a friend to our son. Both the baby and the mongoose grew together. In 5 or 6 months, the mongoose had grown to its full size. A lovely animal with two shining black eyes and a bushy tail, that means thick tail. The farmer's son was still a baby in a cradle, that means a crib or a small bed in which baby sleeps, sleeping and crying alternatively. That means for a moment he sleeps, but when he wakes up, he cries. So that means alternatively it happens. One day, the farmer's wife wanted to go to the market. She fed the baby. Fed, students, it is the past tense of feed. That means to make her baby eat. And rocked him to sleep in his little cradle. Rocked him to sleep, that means she became actually successful in making her child sleep in that little bed. Picking up the basket, she said to her husband, I am off to bazaar. That means I'm going to the bazaar. The baby is sleeping. Keep an eye on him. Frankly, I don't like to leave the child alone. That means he said directly, without any hesitation, that she does not like and she does not believe leaving her child alone with a mongoose. You need not be afraid, said the farmer. The mongoose is a friendly animal. It is as sweet as our own baby, and they are the best friends actually. You must know that. The wife went away, and the farmer, having nothing to do in the house, decided to go out and take a look at his fields not far away. Student fields, that mean an open area where the farmer grew his crops. He ran into some friends on the way back and didn't return for quite some time. The farmer's wife finished her shopping and came back home with a basket full of groceries. Groceries means items of food that is sold in a grocery or supermarket. She saw the mongoose sitting outside as if waiting for her. On seeing the farmer's wife, the mongoose ran to welcome her, as it was customary. That means as it was a belief. The farmer's wife took one look at the mongoose and screamed. That means she shouted very loudly. Blood, she cried. The face and paws of the mongoose were smeared with blood. Smeared means covered with. You wicked animal, you have killed my baby, she screamed hysterically. Hysterically means she screamed very loudly with uncontrolled emotions. She was blind with rage and with all his strength brought down the heavy basket of groceries. Students here, rage means extreme anger, and with all her strength brought down the heavy basket full of groceries on the blood smeared mongoose and ran inside to the child's cradle. That means child's crib, the bed, the small bed in which child was sleeping. The baby was fast asleep. That means the baby was still sleeping. But on the floor lay a black snake, torn and bleeding. That means it was torn into pieces and it was bleeding. In a flash, she realized what had happened. She ran out looking for the mongoose. Oh, you saved my child. You killed the snake. What have I done? She cried, touching the mongoose, who lay dead and still, unaware of her sobbing. Sobbing means noisy cry. The farmer's wife, who acted hastily, that means in hurry she acted, and rashly. Rashly is without thinking anything, she just acted that. Stared is looking up constantly at the mongoose that was dead. Then she heard the baby crying. She wiped her tears and she went to feed him. So, students, today we just read it. Tomorrow we'll be understanding the first part of the story and then we'll proceed further likewise.